Okay, so I have a FNaF theory, but it won't fit into one Discord message. So, excuse me. I'm making a theory video about it. Call me that. No, don't. I don't know what I'm saying. Alright, there we go. Okay. Oh, can you? Hey. Okay, sorry. I'm using my earplugs for this, for a microphone, because I don't have a proper microphone. I really hope it's working. Anyway, theory now. I think the Glamrock animatronics were made after Sister Location. Specifically, when Afton found them, the Funtime animatronics, to be defective in capturing kids. So he made a new kind of animatronic, the Glamrocks. And the reason I think they're made after Sister Location is because they both had the same stomach hatch. After he made Glamrock, the first one or two, I can't remember, pizzerias were shut down, possibly a few years later, around the time the FNaF 2, or Juniors as it's called in the FNaF 6 Midnight Motor minigame, establishment was shut down. He or someone else opened the Pizzaplex. The reason I think it's around the time the FNaF 2/Juniors establishment was shut down is because it has to have been before Afton died. I'll explain why it's imperative that he's alive until the FNaF 3/Fazbear Frights in a second. Another reason I believe it's after FNaF 2 and before FNaF 3 is because it has to be after the first few victims for reasons I'll get to in a second. When he or whoever opened the Pizzaplex, people immediately complained about him reopening the establishment. That has now been named as the Pizzaplex, almost immediately after the missing children accident, as one of the messages in one of the bags said, "It's happening again. Customer complaint. Why did you reopen? Everyone remembers what happened to those kids," referring to the missing kids incident with Springtrap/William Afton. A lot of the messages are about faulty animatronics, the food, or it's just a lot of customer complaints. And amongst those notes are some from Vanessa. Around the time Sister Location was happening, or maybe after the Body Baby 3, not too sure about that one, but I'm trying. Anyway, it was either before or during Sister Location that Vanny or Vanessa was still part of the Afton family. But after she found out what her father, William Afton, was doing, she quickly moved out. She got a job as a beta tester for video games, specifically one game called Help Wanted. Now, at the time when she was first hired, there was someone else testing the game, Jeremy. As the teaser on Scott's website said, don't listen to the lies. He let something inside. It was an accident. Remember Jeremy. I'm guessing when they said remember Jeremy, they were possibly hinting at what Jeremy did when he was testing the game. If you don't know what I'm talking about, in MatPat's story, he mentioned one of the 16 tapes that Vanessa hid in the game said something about Jeremy's face looking off, no pun intended. And when she went back into the room, went to the back room, she saw what looked like a Halloween mask and ink on the wall. That Halloween mask, quote-unquote, was Jeremy's face, and that, quote-unquote, ink was actually blood. Jeremy cut off his own face with a paper guillotine. When Jeremy was testing the game, he mentioned that he saw a glitch in the game. It was a rabbit. A golden rabbit. William Afton missed Vanessa so much he coded himself into the game. And possibly, much like Henry did with his daughter, Charlotte, William made a full replica of Vanessa. Now, I think he may have coded that in the game as well. That, or he made a holographic Vanessa, which either way would probably explain how she glitched in and out of the Pizzaplex so fast if she was a hologram or some sort of AI. But when Vanessa started testing the game, she saw a rabbit as well. She had no idea what it was or what it was doing there. All she knew is that it was somehow connected to the tapes. She scattered them around, as she said, when she had the tapes, and one of them, I believe it was number 15, she said there are more. They may not be in order. Basically inviting you to gather the tapes and put them together. In almost all the endings, it's always a bad end for the tester. Now, I believe that is her consciousness was basically trapped in Glitch Trap. When you free Glitch Trap, you're actually freeing Vanessa. Let me explain. If William actually did indeed code himself into the game, there probably will be no way, that I know of anyway, for you to free him. After all, he's basically a fictional character. But perhaps he made a mistake while coding it or something, and that's what caused the brain swap? I don't know about that one, but it's just more food for thought. If I'm right about this, and Glitch Trap is indeed just that, a glitch. He wouldn't be able to be freed from the game. And seeing as Vanessa's consciousness is trapped in the glitch no matter what ending you get. If you play all the minigames, you free Vanessa, but now you're stuck at Freddy Fazbear, forced to sing for an audience forever. If you follow her instructions correctly, you free Vanessa, but now you're trapped in a room with a door that's locked and no way to unlock it. If you follow her instructions incorrectly, your consciousness is now trapped in a glitch, and Vanessa is now free to roam. And it's the third ending where you mess up her instructions that sets Vanny free. The man celebrating his victory after stuffing you in a suit, that's Vanny. The man who locked you behind a door with no key, also Vanny. The man who switched his consciousness with yours, Vanny again. No matter what, you're going to be trapped in that game. And it's again, the third ending is what I personally believe is what set Vanny free, and let her roam around the Pizzaplex. Now, what I think is that the beta testing happened somewhere after FNaF 2. The day her consciousness was trapped in the glitch, most likely after FNaF 3. The Pizzaplex had been open for years now, but little did anyone know that the pizzeria you see down in the cave/tunnel underground is possibly the same one that was talked about in, I believe, the fourth closet. It could have been in the Twisted ones, but I'm not sure. But there was an underground restaurant talked about, and at first I thought maybe it was a sister location restaurant. But then I watched a few more Game Theory episodes and found that Circus Baby's Pizza World is above ground, not underground. The underground place is a main area of the game sister location takes place in. So that pretty much led me to believe that the restaurant talked about in one of the two books mentioned is possibly the same underground restaurant we see in FNaF Security Breach. Now, I also found out something. I was watching one of MatPat's series today, and he mentioned a character from Come Closer, one of the Fazbear Fright books. Specifically, he was talking about the Stitch Rays, and how there's two souls possessing it, Andrew and Jake. Andrew, at least his ghost, is described with the following traits. A boy with black curly hair, an alligator mask, and he's an angry spirit. Now, who else do we know who was angry and is also an alligator? Montgomery Gator. There is no doubt in my mind that Andrew is in fact the child who possesses Montgomery Gator. He was haunting William Afton after William just spontaneously combusted. No, that is not a joke. He actually just spontaneously combusted while getting wheeled over on a hospital bed. If you hadn't noticed the status, I literally just had it set to William Afton died. William Afton died in a fire in FNaF 3 and then again in FNaF 6. And then just spontaneously combusted while he's getting wheeled over to the hospital. After Afton just spontaneously combusted, Andrew's spirit was set free, only to go on and possess Monty. Back to Vanny. Sorry, I got off track. Now, Vanessa quit or alternatively got fired from her old job as a beta tester. She then applied for a job as a security guard for the Pizzaplex. Now she had no background experience with this stuff. But they eventually hired her, however, she soon got frustrated with how the place works. As you can see in a lot of her notes, e.g. New hire summary, head security guard, no prior qualifications, internal reference, name withheld. I'm not sure if this is Vanessa, but I'm going to throw it out there just in case. Last week it was Jenkins forgetting to place the urinal cage after a single use. Yesterday, it was also for showing up to work early. Today it's me, because Lily H asked for chicken Alfredo. I said we don't make that here. Her father, you kind of look like Sasquatch, by the way, demanded to speak to a manager. I get Dennis. Dennis asked me why I don't just get her what she wants. I say we don't have chicken Alfredo. Dennis fires me on the spot. Joke's on him, though. Turns out our staff bots, the better employees, aren't programmed to make chicken Alfredo. So HQ fired him for firing me. Sweet revenge. Thanks, Lily. Exit interview. Of course I got stuck in the arcade. Every time I exit the security office, I get locked out. If it's not my low clearance level, then I need a stupid party pass. I'm on the security team. Shouldn't I have access to everything? I swear, this thing to message me. This place is not safe. Give me my $100 and I'll go. But little did she know, there was a second Vanessa. Vanny, running around the building. Both of them were looking for Gregory, but both had different intentions. Vanessa wanted to take him to his parents. Vanny, however, wanted him dead. Now I have to mention, yes, I'm aware the voices are in fact different, but I have an explanation. She grew up. She's older now. And before you say, but the hair is different. keep in mind that we never actually saw the tape girl's face. We only heard her voice, so she could indeed have blonde hair. Okay, back to the theory. And also, sticking, back on the subject of the tape girl's face and also her hair. In Map's video, I mean, I don't know if everyone's had the idea that her hair was brown because of that video or what, but I know in a lot of fan art I see, like, Vanny, like, from Help Wanted, with a Help Wanted mask, she has, like, brown hair, which is, I don't know. Also, I forgot to even mention something. Before Vanessa was even, like, before Vanny was, like, let out, when she was in the glitch trap, she, glitch trap told her what to do, like, I need you to go possess these people or something like that. That or he said, like, he needed her to kill kids. I don't remember. I guess, okay, back to the theory. Now, I also noticed something about Gregory. When he gets tired for some reason, you have to use a recharge station. Now, why would a human child need a recharge station meant for animatronics? That is, unless he is also an animatronic. Anyway, that's pretty much it. But hey, remember, it's just a theory. A game theory! Thanks for listening.